Everyone, my name is Alejandro Romero and today I'm going to show you a single experiment that explores the effect of different salts on the temperature of water. We'll be using two types of salt, table salt, which is sodium chloride, and Epsom salt, which is magnesium sulfate. Along with that, we'll use some hot water, a few simple materials to observe how these salts can change the way water holds and transfers heat. This experiment is easy to do at home or in the classroom, and you can see the science behind the action. For our materials, we were using this: a table salt, a hot water, cereal plastic bag or a heat-safe container, and a cloth towel or towel to wrap things up at the end. These materials are pretty common and easy to find, so you should be able to get them without a problem. Experiment. The experiment is already on Classroom, but I'm going to show you the process. I'm going to tell the process. First, fill your container or plastic bag with the hot water. Make sure it's really warm but not too hot that it's unsafe to touch. You just want to be as hot as possible from the tap, or you can warm it up a little more if needed. Next, add one of the salts, either table or salt or Epsom salt, into the water. You can choose how much salt to use, but try using about a tablespoon. It's important to note that the amount of salt might affect how the water reacts, so make sure to keep things the same for each trial. Stir for the salt in the water to help it dissolve. This is important because the way dissolved salt can change the way the water behaves, especially in terms of temperature. Well, let's going to see the science behind it. Let's talk about why we're doing this experiment. Both table salt and Epsom salt are made up of different compounds, as sodium chloride and magnesium sulfate, respectively. When salt dissolves in water, it changes how the water behaves. For table salt, it breaks up into the sodium and chloride ions, while Epsom salt breaks up into magnesium and sulfate ions. These ions can affect the temperature of the water in different ways. The process of dissolving salt in the water is called the solution, and it's actually absorb heat from the surrounding water. This is called an endothermic reaction. This means this water might cool down a little bit when the salt dissolves. But each type of salt might affect the temperature differently. You see, magnesium sulfate, for example, may cause a greater temperature change compared to sodium chloride because the magnesium ions are larger and might interact with the water molecules more than sodium ions. Now we have the results. After you taking the temperature reading, after you take the temperature readings, you can analyze the results. Did one salt cause the water to cool down more than the others? Was there any noticeable difference in how much heat the water lost? By comparing the two types of salt, you might notice that one salt causes a big temperature drop. This will help you understand how different salts interact with water at a molecular level and how that affects it. The reason this happens is because of the way the ions from the salts interact with the water molecules. Magnesium ions from Epsom salt are heavier and may require more energy to break their bonds with water, thus absorbing more heat from the water and causing a greater temperature change. On the other hand, sodium chloride, which is table salt, behaves differently and might not cause as much of a temperature shift.